Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video, and as you can see, people, I don't know why I've moved my hands like I'm a weird weatherman, but let's no get into that. What we are here to actually get into is the old previewing world, as we're now back to basics, back to the regular scheduled programming. Yet I don't know if you still enjoy the previews. Maybe you can let me know in the comment section below. But we're obviously here to talk about the next Rangers game, which is a very interesting one as we're at home versus Ross County. Now, a bit of a cheap plug to everyone, by the way. I know I don't do this often these days, but we are now less than 70 away from 57k, which is an incredible number in itself. And I know the regular people who tune in to these preview videos are already subscribed, and I greatly appreciate all the support that you give the channel. But if you don't mind hitting the like button, if you are subscribed, that helps other people find the actual channel. And of course, if you are new around here, hit the subscribe button and help us towards 57k. But let's just dive right into the bad boy then, shall we? And as always, we'll start off with the old oppositional preview and check in on Ross County, who at my current time of recording are sitting 10th in the old SPFL. Now, I don't know about you people, but playing Ross County fresh after an interesting transfer deadline day has given me the fear. People, that's right, I'm starting to get flashbacks to where it all started to go wrong, and it was probably the first time that we all sat back and went, oh no, is this really going to work out, as Ross County obviously hurt us several times last season, and they'll be coming into this game looking to do the exact same thing, as it's a similar position to where they actually are right now. And it's funny to look at Ross County because for the large majority of the season they've kind of looked dead and buried. I mean, they've been flirting with Dundee United about who's the worst team in the league for the majority of the year, but as we were starting to get closer and closer to Christmas and Dundee United started to pick up some points, they started to talk about Ross County as being dead and buried, people. But just like the Undertaker several times in his career, when the dong hit, that's a sound, by the way, behave yourselves, people, alright? He leaned up and they've answered the call, and that's what they've done post-Christmas, is they've went on one of the best runs of the season, and again gave themselves a fighter's chance of surviving in this league. It's almost like the later the season goes on, the more this Ross County team turns up and picks up points. They're almost the Lafferty of the old club world. And I mentioned they were playing pretty well since the turn of the year, but let's actually sink our teeth in it and have a little look then, shall we? Because again, they've played 5 games in the old SPFL since the turn of the year, and they've only lost 1 of them, which was against Livingston, which is again not the worst type of team to lose, especially when you're down and around that area, as Livingston are a very well run football club. But it was a dirty double late in the second half in a 3-minute period that bet them on that day. And if you take those 3 minutes away, that again cost them the 3 points versus Livingston, you look at every other minute of every other game, they have been fighting tooth and nail and battling with every team that they've actually played. Even the game that they lost in the cup went to actual penalties. But bringing it back to the league, they've picked up one of the best wins all season as they bet Kilmarnock 3-0, which was a old relegation 6-pointer, if you want to call it, for using the old sayings. And that brilliant performance for them, and they've also picked up some very important draws as well, away to Pittodrie versus Motherwell, who is also down there battling and looking really worried, by the way, and also Hibs in their most recent game where they got maybe a controversial goal, but for me it wasn't very controversial at all. Big boy got up, big boy headed it, and they got the draw that, in my opinion, Ross County deserved. So they're getting hot and they're getting frustrating and they're getting dangerous at the right time in terms of their season and what they need to do to accomplish what they want to actually accomplish. So that's some dangerous signs right there, especially since you look at it, since we last played them, obviously we played them just before Christmas and we won 1-0 away at their ground thanks to a brilliant long-ranged effort from John Lundstrom, by the way. That'd be nice to see again if he's playing tomorrow. But if you take that away, what's new about this Ross County side? What's maybe sprung some of the rejuvenance in this Ross County side? Well, they've actually done some smart work in the transfer window. Now, I'm not going to break down the entire thing or we'll be here all day, but I will mention a familiar name to everyone right here on the channel, as they went ahead and signed Eamon Brophy, people. That's right, and after 2 games he has 1 goal under his belt already, starting to look like he's got a wee bit of help and starting to look like the player he was a couple years ago where he was starting to make his name for himself. But it's not just his signing, in my opinion, it's the fact that he's pairing his pace, which has caused us problems in that before, with the height and physicality of Jordan White as they've went with two up top, if you will, and that seems to bring the best out of Brophy, as he's looked the best over the last two games than he has in probably the last 60 months of his actual career. And then you've also got the physical threat of Jordan White, who's punished us several times over the last couple of years in that as well. Now, I'm not sitting here 24 hours before the game saying that Ross County is going to play two up top away at Ibrox and everything like that. I don't know if they're going to do that. It would be an extremely ballsy call to do that, but if they do, that would certainly give us a little bit of stuff to think about, people, and a lot more threat and a lot more bite than a lot of people was expecting, just not looking in to this team as well. So look out for that. They're either going to go with both of them, which would be extremely ballsy, or if you see Jordan White, you know what you're getting. A lot of long balls to win the set pieces, and if it's Brophy, there'll be a lot of runs down the channel trying to stretch the park and all that as well. Their formation hasn't changed. We know what to expect them, and again, every single point is a prisoner for them right now, and I think it's clear what they're going to try and do. And I think with that being said, this has been about as fair as we can possibly be with Ross County. Again, a team that is fighting for their life, and that's always dangerous when you back someone into a corner. They're going to come out swinging, so it'll be a feisty game, I can imagine, and yeah, they'll be trying for dear life to hang on and keep that back door shut. But again, it's on us to unlock it, people, and I think with that being said, we can move away from Ross County and get to the fun side of today's video, people. That's right, and I've said fun side. That's something I've not said for a very, very, very long time, people, but it's now just fun once again to talk about this Rangers team, and the smile naturally comes to the face again. And I don't know how you feel, but that smile's been on my face pretty much since the 3rd minute of that game versus Hearts, and it's not left me over the last couple of days. I've just been on cloud 9 knowing that's what we can possibly be, recognising the team that we saw after years and years of hardship building back up before it was dismantled and flung away. We're now building our way back up to that. Again, we're not the finished article, but for me that's the first complete performance I've seen for a Rangers team in since the undefeated season, if I'm honest with you. It wasn't a good 15 minutes where we blitzed the team and won the game. It wasn't a good first half followed by a second half or vice versa. And it wasn't a 60 minutes brilliant performance before dipping off and giving chances away in the last 30. No, it was the most complete performance we've seen, and I would absolutely love to see that again. You know what I mean? I'm kind of feeling like Veruca Salts right now, sitting here saying, I want it all, I want it now, people. But I do think there needs to be a little bit of a give and take. Now stay with me for a second here, people, because again, the way they're going to set up is going to be completely different to what Hearts set up regarding space and actually gone for it. So naturally it's going to be a completely different test they will be sitting in. But all I want to see for a Rangers fan going in to this game is our mindset being as aggressive as it was versus Hearts. I want to see us hunting in packs. I want to see us high pressing over the park, and I want to see us pulling the trigger the amount of times we pulled the trigger versus Hearts. That's all I want to see. I know there's not going to be 15-20 metres of space for Sakala to run down the right hand side or Kent to go down the left. I know that's not going to be there, the Mora, but I just want to see us absolutely putting our foot on their throats like we've done through Hearts, giving them no time on the ball and no ponderous moments in the game. That's all I want to say. Again, I might be sounding greedy, but aye, it's good to be greedy sometimes. And speaking of greedy, people, we now have someone who plays very greedy on the actual park now available to play, and that is Nicholas Raskin, as he just grabs every 50-50, grabs every tackle, grabs every player trying to go by them, and he just snatches them all up, people, as Nicholas Raskin's work permit has now been granted finally, and he's able to play, and he will be involved in the squad tomorrow. Now, a game, we've not been told if he's actually going to go straight into the starting 11, and just between me and thee watching today's video, I'd love to just ask you a question, right, because naturally you say, aye, throw him in there right away. But just a fun wee question to you. With the way that Glenn Kamara and the way that John Lundstrom played versus Hearts, do either one of them deserve to be dropped in the next game? I know, it's ridiculous, people, but I've asked you, so all the pressure is on you down in the comment section below. What would you do with the midfield position? Because you've not just got them. Jacko's been playing his best football in a very long time and been brilliant in that as well. So there's now midfield options. There's now midfield decisions. And how nice is that to actually say people on form and new guys into the club it's going to add something? What would you do with the midfield positions in tomorrow's game versus Ross County? Now, to me, Despite everything I've just said, by the way, I'd love to see him start. I'd love to see us do the exact same thing we done with Cantwell. Just put them in. Just give them 60 minutes to get their feet wet, people, because I think they get up to speed a lot more quicker doing it that way than getting the 15, 20-minute cameos and building them up when the game's already done. Start them. Let them see what this league is all about. Then, if their legs go, take them off in the game, because again, I hate those 15, 20 minutes. I hate it what we're doing with Cholak and that, the new as well, because the game is sort of dead and buried and it isn't the same spice in the actual game. So I would love to see Raskin start tomorrow, but who are you picking beside him? Nah, it's too much pressure, people. It's to be fair, he's probably yourself. Just start all the attackers, put him in there. We'll probably be alright, but it's an interesting one, and obviously it's exciting, especially considering the fact that everyone else is actually okay from Wednesday. We're almost at that stage now. We've actually got people that know what sports science is and actually medical staff that knows what they're doing and everything like that, that we didn't need to worry about guys breaking down every 2 days. We're almost past all of that right now. We're only welcoming people back. Obviously Hadji is back available after just being looked after midweek after making his first start in a long time. You have, of course, Kamal Roof back training as well, which is fantastic. Just any people, let's stay positive right now. And obviously Suter is remaining on his same timeline and they're not going to rush him, and I completely understand why, people, because I thought it sounded too harsh here with the way Davies and Goldson's playing. There's no space for Suter. You know, what's the point of rushing him back? Who's he playing over? He's not starting over Goldson, who's been sensational, and he's not starting over the silent assassin who's never spoke a word in his life, Ben Davies. Alright, all that guy does is tackle and keep clean sheets, that's it. People, he's not starting either. So again, it's good management. Of course, we know how the seasons went with injuries and that. We could be potentially needing a Suter, but I like what they're doing with him. They're not throwing him into the deep end and they're not breaking up the English padlock that we currently have in that back line, which is the right way in the right direction, because to me they two are actually clear. But aye, that's your injury updates. Everyone else is fine, everyone's good to fricking go. The only other long-term injury is, of course, our boy Helander, who, again, as we've talked about over the last couple of months, looks like his Rangers career is probably done, which is a real shame and everything like that. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Ross County side. That's the Rangers side. That's the short little injury update. Now you know what you need to know ahead of the actual game. What's your thoughts and opinions going in to this bad boy? I'd love some predictions for you if you didn't mind down in the comments, because to me, despite everything telling me, and I've looked a lot into Ross County for this game, saying it's probably going to be one of those frustrating, even maybe a 2-0 to Rangers, I'm going to go high again, people. I'm going to go with 4-0, a scoreline that we probably should have at least got versus Hearts. I'm going to go high again, so that's where I'm going to go with Malik Tillman being Malik Tillman once a frickin' again. And with that being said, that's us reached the end of today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, or if you're sick of the previews, just tell me and I'll stop doing them, people. I just want to make sure I'm giving you everything you want for this actual channel, so you never feel like you're actually wasting your time. And I'll see you tomorrow after the game, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye bye.